Hey, I'm Chris Love. I play Jonathan Harker, and I'm in the project because Rob Thompson had asked me to come in and do what I could do with melodies and vocals, and apparently thinks that I do well on stage.
I'm Heidi Howard. I'm the production manager, education director at Seven Stages, and about 2 years ago or so I went down into the basement and listened to the first notes of Dracula and said, hey, this is really good, let's play.
I'm Rob Thompson, play Dracula, and I'm a composer along with Chris Love, Naomi Lavender, and Sam McPherson.
I'm Del Hamilton. I'm the director of Dracula and the artistic director of the theater. And Rob tricked me into doing this play a couple of years ago by his tremendous talent and abilities. And so we've all been sucked in ever since in making this happen.
Well, so originally this group got together doing Jesus Christ Superstar, pulling people out of the rock scene as opposed to doing the theater thing, and that was where I originally put this group together. So it's a group of all rockers, and then Shane Morton, who does our makeup and set design, said we should write our own. It should be Dracula. Shane's obsessed with Dracula and always has been, and a lot of the people in the group share a love of horror, especially classic old horror. So it was really a natural thing to do. Shane suggested it, and every time we talked about doing an original thing, it always went to Dracula because we had talked about it that first time, and I think it was Del who actually tricked me into doing it. Let's go ahead and put it on the schedule next year. And I was like, well, I better write the thing. Well, what's different about this production is that we stay really true to the book. While writing it, I kept a copy of Dracula beside me constantly and would refer to the parts that I was writing about and pulled everything out of the book. I didn't add any new things like a love story to the book, which is what happens in every other production I've ever seen. There is no love story between Dracula and Mina is one of the main differences, and the fact that we took it serious in a sense of seriously writing good music for it that we like a lot, not what I consider kind of fluffy.
It's not pop.
Fluffy theater stuff where a lot of times you'll see someone just banging on a keyboard and people singing. That's not what we're doing. We have a full rock band, all seasoned rock musicians and rock singers mainly make up our cast.
Well, we did part one last year, and part one takes place when Jonathan Harker goes to Transylvania. Jonathan is a young attorney, a successful attorney in London, so he goes to do some business with Count Dracula at Transylvania. So that's Act 1, and then Act 2 takes place in London. So we did Act 1 and was successful, and everybody agreed to write songs to do Act 2, and that's where we are right now. So the idea is that because the music changes significantly between Act 1 and 2, so should how it looks on stage. So we're trying to come up with ideas now that sort of begin in what looks like Victorian times, and then in Act 2 it becomes a combination of Victorian times and something more contemporary to match what some of the music is ending up being too. So it's going to be very visual and striking. There's lots of blood, lots of gore. And there's no dialogue at all. It's all sung by the actors, and so that's why it's an opera. It's just straight out music. And I like it because I think it's the best adaptation that can be done to a 19th century novel by not making it a kind of a realistic play where actors have psychological reasons for why they behave like they do, but just sort of sticking to the original intention of the author without questioning it or trying to improve upon it. To me, that proves it. That the artists are going in the right direction on this thing, because they're not perverting or changing. They're trying to be true to the original vision and yet make their own vision based on that. So.
It's really it's hard to put exactly what style of music. I mean, it's definitely like classic rock, and I think of things like Thin Lizzy, Alice Cooper, Deep Purple when I think of the stuff and when I was writing it. But it didn't, at the end result, it doesn't come out really sounding like Alice Cooper or Deep Purple or any of that, but it's got it's got, you know, roots and all that stuff. And our main goal was writing really good songs that communicate the message clearly, and not worrying so much about having, you know, awesome guitar riffs or a lot of things that I do when I'm writing a rock song for a rock band. You know, really trying to let the music support the mood of the song, and but still have a rock edge. You know, something that I would want to go see.